I'm gonna need more care. That's what it's all about. That's determination. We like that. That's how. That's the. Sorry, that's tickling me. That's funny.
I could have told you this. I could have told you this easily.
I actually disagree with this.
Well, no,
I don't believe the kids are stupid. I believe the kids are ignorant. Everyone is ignorant when they haven't learned something yet.
This is true, but even when you teach them stuff, they still, like, that's the thing. I can speak from experience on this because my mom told me, hey, Nate, don't stick that staple into the electrical socket. Don't do it. It will hurt you. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. My dumbass. But
that's not all kids. Have you ever thought about the fact that you might have just been kind of a dumb kid?
Yes, I was a dumb kid. But guess what? I have seen
My
more
mom
kids.
told me not to stick stuff in the electrical socket because it would blow me across the room, and I was like, that sounds scary. I'm definitely not going to do that.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. You're an exception. But in terms of it, most kids were like me. Very dumb. Because they were stubborn. And kids don't understand the concept of humility. Because where they are the center of the attention of the adult, a lot of kids grow up thinking that this is how it's supposed to be all the time. Like, all that attention, all the time, all me. That's what a lot of these kids nowadays grow up with. And here's my thing about it is, my parents whipped the shit out of me to make me realize that I was not the center of the universe. And here's the thing, there's a difference between whipping a kid and sending them upstairs and not talking to them. Instead, whenever a kid does something wrong, you discipline them, you send them upstairs to think about what they've done, and then you come up later and you're like, hey, do you know why I did that? And they're like, because I didn't listen to you and I did it anyway, and I broke that. It's like, exactly. So what are you going to do from now on? And that's the thing. It's good parenting. Good parenting doesn't take much. It takes you holding your child responsible and educating them as to why you had to punish them.
All the psychologists nowadays are saying that striking a kid in any way, shape, or form, even if it's a small spank, is a no-no.
Yeah. And here's the thing I'll say to that. I can understand, like, there's a difference between discipline and abuse. All right? It's not all or nothing. That's not how that works. Much like everything. See, this is what's happened in modern psychology that has everyone so on edge with everything, is that everything is all or nothing. There is no in between. There is no middle ground with anything anymore. Think about that. When it comes to political opinions, you're either this or you're that. No in between. No in between. You're either this or you're that. That's how people define you nowadays. This is the problem with psychology nowadays, is that it's basically just painted everything as one way or the other. It's 1 or 2, or 0 and 1, or A and B. No multiple choice. No like in between the lines or anything like that. No. And that's my problem with it nowadays. If people want to tell me how to raise my child, that's the thing. I can't tell you how many people walked up to my sister in the middle of her, like, disciplining her child at one of these school events. They're like, you shouldn't talk to your child like that. A gentle hand is what really makes a difference in a child's upbringing. Meanwhile, that person's kid is up on stage, like, ripping stuff off of, like, the sets, and they're just like, honey, no, get down, honey, no, come here. Oh, he'll come back when he's tired. And instead, when I did shit like that, here was my mom. It's like, Nate, put it down. Nate. Belt coming off. I was a stupid kid.
And all kids are ignorant because they're still learning how things work. So.
Yes. But either way, kids sometimes are effing stupid. Mommy, please, I need it.
I wouldn't let her drink the chemicals under the sink. That's why you don't keep them under the sink. They're in drinking range for a baby. You got to put them elsewhere. Otherwise, they see the bright colors and think it's candy. 9-year-old didn't want to try my lemon loaf, but when I rebranded it as lemonade cake, he was interested. You tell him.
Oh yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's all about the
Branding.
I mean, kids haven't learned not to judge a book by the cover yet. Sometimes it's all about the cover you give it.
Took all the properties of lemonade and made it a cake, something that is traditionally used for celebration? I mean, fucking color me interested, dude. I'm down. 6-year-old. Do dragons fart fire? Me? I don't know. 6-year-old. I thought you went to college. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think you will find when you get to college, they don't teach us the interesting things there.
There was no, like, gastronomy.
I would say this, like, do dragons fart fire?
I'd be like, that's an extremely good question.
I would say, depends on the dragon.
I would say it depends on your dungeon master.
Oh. Well, I don't think a 6-year-old would have the concept of D&D.
Because guess what? My dragons fart fire now.
Fuck! Now I'm gonna have to deal with that whenever we start a new campaign.
Just if the situation calls for it, you know.
Be like, I instead approach the dragon from the rear, and then all of a sudden you'll just be like,
I'll just be rolling dice behind the board, and if it rolls that the dragon actually hits you with fire breath, I'll just be like, well, as you approach the dragon from the rear, unfortunately, he rips ass.
and this
fiery
dragon
flame flows across you.
Oh God!
You take 12d6 of fire damage.
Oh! It's like, oh Jesus! It's like, oh God! It's like 15 damage and it's like.
I said 12d6. It'd probably be a lot more than 15.
I was like, okay, like got a burn mark on my arm. It'd be like a squire. I'll be asking him later in life. Be like, sire, how did you acquire that scar on your forearm? Have you ever seen a dragon rip ass 5 feet in front of your face? It changes a man.
We'll have to stop doing these long stories for this video, though, or it's going to take us forever to get
Yeah,
through.
this video will be an hour long.
Dragons class. There was no elective for that. I don't know what you want me to say. Maybe you're asking the real tough questions that science doesn't want us to know. I made my bed and found a half-eaten stick of butter in it. When I asked my child if she put anything in mommy's bed, she said, I did not put butter in it. The mystery continues. More at 11. Well, you know, she did specify she didn't put butter in it. Maybe there's other objects in there that she was responsible for, like, I don't know, grass and needles. Anything to get your mind away from your child being the one who ate the half stick of butter and put it in your bed for safekeeping for later.
Like butter.
Or for later snackage.
Now, what would
I
make
thought
a
women
person
had their
decide to put butter in a bed?
Sorry. Yeah. Hey, dual camera angles. One up there and one here. It's like camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. Haha.
periods forever. When my first period stopped, I assumed the neighbor's dog impregnated me when I pet him. For a month, I believed myself to be carrying a half-human, half-dog baby. This story is brought to you by Ontario Catholic School Sex Ed in the 90s. It's gonna be a terrifying, terrifying month-long existence. Just writing mail to science institutions being like, you guys aren't going to believe what happened, but this needs to be like put in a lab somewhere for 30 days. Just that panic and confusion. Table 83 for 4 guests. Kids mac and cheese. Make it more orange in color if possible. I don't know, dude, just kill me. We like orange mac and cheese here, what can I say? If you can't get us orange mac and cheese, then don't get us anything at all. While the world is fighting over TP, my toddler's giving ours a bath.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
you little shit.
Oh Oh, ruined 4. That's why you get a bidet. If there was any convincing argument for a bidet, you know, granted you would still need to like dry, so I guess there's that. Yeah. But you know, it wouldn't hurt nearly as much unless you have one of those drying bidets. I don't know if there's one of those or not. Mine's basic as hell. I just remembered that when I got my first dog, I was 7 and he was 1. 7 in dog years. And I cried when he turned 2 because I didn't think a 14-year-old dog would want to hang out with me. Nah, man, dogs don't operate like people, dude. That dog could be...
That dog will love you forever.
60 in dog years, and he would still want to hang. So it's all good. There was a massive unflushed jobby in the toilet. So is that poop? Are we calling poop jobby? Yeah. I asked my boys who did it, and my 10-year-old son said it was him. My 5-year-old son is crying because he says it was him and his big brother is taking the credit. The credit? Now they're fighting over who took a big... Have a great week, everyone. Imagine the video ended there. And we don't post for a week to have the have a great week, everyone really matter. I mean, look at my uploads.
All of a sudden, I just imagine that one of the Scottish mother coming into those, like, interrupting her daughters, like... Disgusting!
Schedule on my channel. I haven't uploaded in what? Months? It's okay though. If you use code Damien in the MK shop, maybe you'll get an upload as a present. This is now a bargain. This is a trade offer.
Yeah.
Hi. Hello. I think your child has accidentally placed an order and you wish to cancel the order with refund. I will help you. Great, thank you. Just confirm, are you referring to the Extreme Farts extension pack? Yes, that's the one. Thank you for canceling. Wait! Don't cancel it, that one was mine. Just a total subversion of expectation. Like, no, actually, I meant to buy that one. It was the Poppy's Playtime plush set that we needed to remove. Keep your toddler busy by letting them paint the fence with water. We don't do phones here or tablets. We're not going to have a iPad babysitter. Nah. Yeah, go paint the fence with water. That's so funny. And they're going to do it because they're like, I like tasks. I hate playing make-believe with little kids. You shoot them with a laser and they're like, actually, I went back in time so it doesn't count. What the f are you talking about? You just casually rip open a hole in the space-time continuum? That's irresponsible as shit, pal. Yeah, that's why I just go, no. When I was a kid, if they were like, no, I have a force field, I would be like, no, nuh-uh. That doesn't count. And it was just it was a back and forth of what didn't count when we're playing pretend. It's just a tug of war with no one pulling the rope. I just want everyone to know that my 2-year-old insisted on being pants for Halloween. It's a perfectly acceptable costume. Yes. I see nothing wrong with that. And what are you supposed to be? Pints? Oh, yeah, I see that. Or a pair of pints. Well, I had to walk behind my teenager during a Zoom class in order to go to the bathroom, and now his peers know that he has parents that he lives with. He's obviously very upset. Please send him your thoughts and prayers during this difficult time. Dude, Zoom classes are a trick because, like, it was such a change in what people were used to that normal things at home were suddenly the most embarrassing thing ever.
I am glad.
That's funny.
I am glad I never had to do Zoom classes or anything or any bullshit like that.
I would have fucking loved doing that. Like, I get to stay at home. My teacher doesn't know that I got Secret of Mana on the TV off in the corner right now.
Fair enough.
My 11-year-old nephew gets a 69-hit combo in the shooter we're playing. Nice. Nephew, hey, 69. Nice. Me, ... Nephew explained to me like I'm an idiot. Oh, the number 69 is a meme and nobody knows why. You're right. No one knows. That's so innocent. I love that. I love that the what is it, Generation Alpha? 69, nice. Wait, why is that? Why is it nice? Oh, no one knows. It's just what you say. Like when you say skibbity toilet, no one knows what the hell that is. You just describe something as being skibbity. I always told people I met Michael Jackson, but now that I found the picture, man.
Oh, no.
Who the hell was this? I don't know, dude. You telling me that's not Michael? I mean, could have fooled me.
I agree.
The child ripped up their allowance because he wasn't happy with the amount.
Too normal looking.
Oh. Oh,
His mom walked out of her room and saw this. What would you do if this was your child's behavior?
They wouldn't get allowance.
They wouldn't get an allowance anymore.
Pick up the pieces, put them away, right? Keep them. Next time they ask me for allowance, yeah, here you go.
That's even better. That's a better punishment. I will relent. That is much better than what I came up with.
Keep it and give him a piece of it anytime he asks for money.
Exactly. Yeah, even better.
Money. That's my mom would have done something like that. That's smart. I like that. Wait, is that? It's not just $5. There's a 20 in there. If you're a kid, why is $25 not enough?
Bucks.
Dude, $25? Oh, okay. It depends if that's a monthly or weekly allowance. Dude, do you know how much you could do with $25? Dude.
More than I did as a kid.
Same. I didn't get an allowance.
Money for you. How old is this kid? 10 years old. $25. It's not even nearly gonna be enough. Dude, when I was a kid, me and my brother would go to like the Dollar General that was nearby with $20 and we would leave loaded. Like, you just make it work. Bedtime was half an hour ago. My 6-year-old just walked out, bleary-eyed, and asked his father if a duck is a predator. If you're a piece of bread, absolutely. You are the only thing on the duck's food chain, actually.
Yep.
Some things are too important to go to bed without knowing. It's true. Maybe your kid is, scared about turning into a piece of bread. I don't know why that's so funny to me. Dad, I'm scared of becoming a piece of bread because a duck will eat me. Go to bed, son.
I think technically ducks are omnivores, aren't they?
Probably.
Because I'm pretty sure they eat fish.
I think they do.
Like little fish that swim, like minnows and stuff. I'm pretty sure they eat them.
God dang it, Nick. Are ducks omnivores? Ducks are omnivores. Correct.
Thought so.
Good on you, Nick.
They probably eat frogs too if they catch them.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Crawls into bed. His bed's conveniently shaped like a bread basket. A little kid came up to the ice cream truck today holding a $5 bill in one hand and a cool leaf in the other. She asked for a bomb pop and I said, okay, that'll be one leaf, please. And she said no and handed me the $5. Smart marketing. Simple facts I'm terrified of my toddler discovering. Public parks don't randomly close. TVs don't run out of batteries. There is no actual world record for fastest at putting away toys. Chicken the animal and chicken the food are one and the same. Got any to add?
I love the fact that his profile picture is Al Bundy from Married with Children.
I don't know. That there is no such thing as McDonald's at home, probably. Whenever I get discouraged and want to quit something, I remember the words of my then 3-year-old after she puked carrots all over the living room floor. I'm gonna need more carrots. That's what it's all about. That's determination. We like that. That's tickling me. That's funny. That's the meaning of life. When you puke up life, when you puke up the carrots from life, you wipe your mouth and you say, I'm gonna need more carrots. On that subject though, that is pretty funny. It kind of reminds me of how Brie is with frozen grapes.
Reminds me of an alcoholic that I knew. He's just like, he threw up after drinking a massive amount of vodka. Like, he killed the vodka, by the way. And he threw it all up. And they were just like, oh, dude, I think you need to stop. He's like, nope, just made room for more. I'm like, oh, God.
She got a stomach issue or something from like frozen grapes, right? And she was like, I don't know why my stomach hurts. All I've had is frozen grapes. And then one Google search later and I'm like, oh hun, eating too many grapes makes your stomach hurt. And she looked at me like I told her the president just got shot. She was like, that sucks. I'm gonna have another bag of frozen grapes. So, when life tells you you can't, you just keep on. I think that's the message. 9-year-old nephew, hey, smell this. Eucalyptus. Me, mutes TV. What? 9-year-old nephew, it's so good. Smell it. Eucalyptus. Me, ... 9-year-old nephew hands me a candle jar. It's pronounced eucalyptus.
Yep.
Well, the kid didn't know. He was met with a strange string of, vowels and consonants and did his absolute best.
I was confused too for a second. I was like, how do you know that?
I was
like, how do you know what that means?
No, I did that. I asked I thought that when he said eulictopus, I was like, uh-oh. Did he hear something on the internet? And all of a sudden he said it again. He's like, it smells so good. I was like, oh, this is like eucalyptus or something. And then when they were like the candle, I'm like, yep, eucalyptus.
When I was 10, I told my mostly white class that I was Japanese, and a little white girl raised her hand and said, you can't say Japanese, you have to say Asian. And everyone agreed. Well, you know, it's about...
God.
Ladies and gentlemen, over-inclusivity, and this is the problem. I always say this, like...
No, the thing is they're wrong.
No, I know they're wrong.
They're wrong.
I know they're wrong. And this is my whole problem, is like, this is what we've been taught. You have to be overly inclusive about everything. It's like, you can't say like black people. You have to say African Americans. It's like, and then you say African American around a Jamaican. He's just like, man, I ain't fucking African American. I'm black. Mm-hmm. It's like, you can't, like, and this has always been my thing. It's when you say something, that doesn't mean that you are instantly like trying to be exclusive or you're trying to exclude anybody or anything like that. Instead, it's just like, we have to be overly inclusive so that we don't miss anything. Therefore, it's not offensive. No, this right here proves it's just as offensive. It's just like people saying people of color nowadays. I'm sorry, but that's literally a reversal of colored people. You know, the phrase that activists fought against so hard in the 50s and the 60s to get rid of. Because they hated everyone being included under one umbrella as like the thing to define them. You see how stupid that is? God.
If I were him, I would have been like, all right, today's lesson is about Japan and what people from Japan are called.
It's like Japanese,
like,
if you're
clearly
new,
this whole class needs a lesson on this.
Yes, Japanese if you're fresh to the discussion. Nihon if you are actually educated about what Japan calls itself.
Nihon is the language.
Japanese Nippon. Sorry,
Nippon.
Nippon. Sorry.
It's
See,
country.
even I fuck up. But yeah, all that being said, though, my whole thing is the over inclusivity. It's like including all white people on the same block. That's so stupid. Why would you encapsulate all white people into a box and pretend that all white people are exactly the same? That's not how it works. And like, you shouldn't do that with Asians. You shouldn't do that with black people. You shouldn't do that with Latinos or Latinas. You shouldn't do that with anybody. Instead, you need to just accept people for who they are and let them tell you how to do it instead of you telling them how they need to refer to themselves. You see? See how that works? God. Anyway.
Using the correct words, like, I suppose. That's funny. That's unfortunate. They didn't want to be, they wanted to be correct, I guess, in their own strange, stupid way.
But that's not correct. That's not how that works. I
mean, the title is Kids Are Effing Stupid. So.
No, I know. But the whole thing, the whole technically correct. No, that's not technically correct. It's still wrong. Mm-hmm. You are referring to someone by something that they do not wish to be identified as. Just like the American Indians. Yes, I said American Indians and not Native Americans. Because if you actually go to reservations, you'll know that they hate that term. Because it completely just washes over all of the different histories of all of the different people that have existed on these two continents. That is in North America and South America. Native Americans basically encapsulates all of them under one name. And here's the thing I'll say. The Inuits of the North, the First Nations of Canada, the American Indians of the greater United States, the Aztecs, the Incans, the Incans, the Aztecs, the Toltecs, all of the other groups do not like being just put under one umbrella. They fucking hate it. And for you to just sit there and say Native American is okay, but you should never, ever correct someone when they say American Indian, because the preferred term on all of the reservations, yes, and I'm not the only one who's confirmed this. I've been to 3 reservations. All of them say American Indian. They say Indian by itself, and it is not offensive. It is used universally. And everyone out there who wishes to say, oh, but you need to say Native American. Every time, like, the term Native American was used on the reservations, you got this look. You got the... Yeah, exactly. They hate it. They hate being umbrella termed. And that's the problem. Over-inclusivity is just, it's killing cultures. You're going to tell me that the Inuits and the American Indians, like the Plains Indians, have the exact same culture? Go fuck yourself. You don't know fucking shit.
When in doubt, if you want to be inclusive, just call everyone my dude.
Yes. Yes, I agree with that. My dude is a universal term.
Hey, my son drew in red marker all over his face, then got scared that we'd be mad, so he tried to hide it by wrapping toilet paper around his head like a mummy. Then he promptly ran into a wall and nearly knocked himself unconscious.
Holy crap.
A comedy of errors every day with this kid. Well, listen, Matt Walsh aside, because that's a totally different thing. I hope his kid's making some good moves already, it seems. Kid in my son's class explained to me that she was sure he has 2 moms because he has the pretty mom and the other mom. She described each to me in great detail. Reader, both are me. I'm confused. What does that mean, both are you? That you're both the mom? Is this like a Coraline situation? My kids realized that I was missing Glastonbury this year, so they put on a music festival for us in the garden. It was, and I cannot stress this enough,
Fucking awful.
Worst thing I ever heard, but it meant a lot. My brother and I met our favorite superhero, the Hulk, when we were 4. We were pissed off because Lou Ferrigno wasn't green.
Look at those faces. Look at those faces. They're just like, he's not the Hulk. This isn't the Hulk. You said we'd meet the Hulk. I hate you.
I mean, he could listen, man.
Lou Ferrigno's a monster, dude. 6'6", 280 to 320 pounds. I mean, you're looking at a freak of nature in terms of just size and strength. And also, I did not know this when I was a kid. Lou Ferrigno, mostly deaf. Yeah, he had a very bad ear infection, and he lost a lot of hearing in one of his ears, and his other one, I think his other one is degenerated a bit, but it's unbelievable that he's accomplished as much as he has.
But he's not green.
I know.
He is the Hulk, just not green and not angry. He's Bruce right now. People coming over, me,
No. Bruce Banner was Brian Bixby. Oh God.
He's up. Husband fires at the barbecue. Toddler removes all clothing because that's just, listen, he didn't have a chore.
Yes.
All right, he didn't give him a task. He sees things being put away. He thinks it's bedtime. He needs to be changed to his pajamas. All right, you didn't make the memo clear to him. I make that joke because I'm pretty sure I was that kid. So, I understand this one. Thinking about in 7th grade when I got escorted to the police station after school because they found out I was prank calling local businessmen as Ricky PP. And when I walked in, the officer who was waiting there with my mom to talk to me said, well, if it isn't Ricky PP, yeah, you got him. You're not getting jack out of me there, copper. Free Ricky PP. He ain't do nothing wrong. My daughter asked why she can't just quit school, and I told her it's against the law. And they'll put me in jail, and my sweet, sweet child looked me in the eye and said, I'll visit you. Well, that's just, thanks. That's just so sweet, isn't it? Thank you.
Sweet.
You're not quitting school.
No, you're not.
Not sitting in jail because you want to skip basic math.
I actually had
thanks.
a similar conversation with my mom when I was a kid. She gave me the same reason, but I didn't say that to her. I was just like, oh, okay.
Dumbest rumor you've heard about yourself? When I was in middle school, people were saying that I was homeschooled, even though I went to school. Yeah, it was just a front to save face. They knew the truth. They knew that really you weren't there sitting in class learning. You had earphones in. You had earplugs blocking out all that learning so you could stay being homeschooled. A 7-year-old told me that Jeremy gives her all the answers at school. As the conversation went on, I found out that Jeremy is her brain. She named her brain Jeremy.
Not the worst name.
Well, that's nice. Everyone deserves a name.
Jeremy.
You know what's wild? Remembering that children hear things for the first time without context, and they're literally like, what? I just said, see you later, alligator, to a 4-year-old, and I think it was the first time he had ever heard that. They froze in their tracks, looked at me completely bewildered, then replied, see you later, chicken, and kept walking. You know,
I'd be like, hey now, that's insulting.
Hey, I ain't no chicken, I'm a bear.
that's, you know, I think that's fair. They were like, are we just calling each other animals now? All right, see you later, chicken. That's fair. I mean, that's...
No, okay, you need to teach them the proper response. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Exactly. Just teach them that.
Interior crocodile alligator. I drive a
Chevrolet movie theater. Dude, yes.
Solid 4-year-old logic. Fair enough. My friend's 4-year-old put on a backyard puppet show for me, the sole audience member. Halfway through the show, she asked me if I liked it, and I replied, I can't wait to see what happens next. I'm on the edge of my seat. Hearing this, she carefully put down her puppets, came over to where I was sitting and explained, you can use the whole seat. It's more comfy. I paid for the whole seat. I'm only using the edge of it. That's how great this show is. Kids describe color to a blind person. That can go well. Have you ever seen the...
Oh no, it's so sad. So if you, it's like, explain red to me. It's like, red is warm. That's what I would say. Red gives off a warm feeling. It's like your heartbeat. You can feel your heartbeat and the warmth that it gives you. That's what red makes me feel. I mean, and I think that's a pretty accurate response. It's like, what about green? It's like, you ever been outside and you've smelled like fresh cut grass, or you've smelled like a flower or something like that, something within nature? Have you ever put your hands in the grass and felt them go between your fingertips? That's the feeling that green gives me. And I would attribute it to feelings, and I would attribute it to the senses that they currently have. That's how I would do it. Kids, on the other hand, oh boy, I can only imagine how bad this went.
The color of a blueberry?
The best thing I could think of to do is just ascribe it to tastes, because I'm like, there are certain things that taste certain colors.
Yes, I could do that too. Taste would be another one that...
I'd be like, I know it's going to be gross, but here, lick this crayon. That's yellow.
I have a worse one for it. It's like, what is yellow like? It's like, yellow? Okay, hold on one second. Okay. Lay down on the ground for me, face up.
No.
What? Okay.
No.
All right, now open your mouth wide.
No. No.
You know exactly where I'm going.
Keep going.
No, I'm not going. I'm not going on with it.
To a blind person. That can go well. Have you ever seen the color of a blueberry? I haven't seen anything ever. That's the whole point. Well, back to the drawing board. Apparently, my 9-year-old nephew wanted permission to make a Facebook account, and my sister was like, no, you're 9. And he then figured out how to make one behind her back and got caught immediately when he sent her a friend request. Back to the drawing board. Let's come up with a better plan, man. It was more like proof to see that he did it. Damn. When I was 6, I named my Animal Crossing character Sex and couldn't change it back, so I panicked. Went outside the next day and smashed the game card with a hammer. I have lived with this my whole life. Could just...
Wow. That's...
restart the game, right? Start a new save file. It wasn't one and done.
That's
so funny.
Nintendo games like that, there's a certain button combination usually to delete your save.
Yes.
It's like SpongeBob with the health inspector. Thought we killed him, so we had to bury him. No, he just passed out. You could have, there was a whole other list of things you could have done before the most extreme version of it, huh? One time when I was 11, my dad took me to an Italian restaurant and the waiter asked me why
something actually, that last one. I might have actually grown up to be a hentai artist, but my mom found my notebook.
Oh.
So I got in trouble for drawing boobies.
Nothing wrong with drawing titties, man.
Yeah, but I never did it again after that because I was afraid of getting caught. So
I wouldn't judge you.
I could have made a lot of money.
Yes, you could have.
Selling artwork to these degenerates on the internet.
But what my name was. And I said, Sam, but you can call me Captain Ravioli. And my dad just looked at me and said, what the f was that? Don't do that. and I've been chasing that high ever since. The daring tales of Captain Ravioli had to live on another day. My niece done told her school we put her food at home, and that's why she be sleepy. Y'all, it's parsley. Oh no, put my sister in jail for putting parsley. You know what? Yeah, parsley crimes. Lock 'em up. Mommy, I don't want dinner. I'm not making dinner. I'm making you a big snack. Yay, snacks! It's so easy. It's so easy to trick a kid into eating dinner when you make them dinner. Just say it's a big snack. They're not gonna know. On the downside, they're gonna think that meatloaf is a snack. My 3-year-old calls Flonase Mommy's special nose medicine, and now my neighbors think I do. Well, you know, keep them on your toes. You know what I mean? Just keep your neighbors guessing what you do at your house. If your son traded a Nintendo Switch for a fidget spinner today, please message me. Oh, come on. It was a fair trade. It was a fair trade.
No, it is not.
Yeah, here, dude. Here's my... Give me that fidget spinner. Awesome for all of 30
Makes
seconds.
Makes me wonder if
2-year-old...
her kid came home with the Switch, or if her kid came home with the fidget spinner. If your son traded a Nintendo Switch for a fidget spinner, it makes it sound like her kid came home with the Switch.
Yes. And I guarantee you she was...
That's a nice mom, because she's trying to help out that other kid who just got ripped the fuck off.
Yes. Yeah, like a $5 fidget spinner, or hell, in some cases like a $1 fidget spinner. Jesus.
Eating his lunch. Papa's coffee hot. Me? Yeah, baby, it's hot. Don't touch. 2-year-old, me blow on it for Papa? It was at this point I witnessed, with horror, my 2-year-old attempt to blow on my freshly made coffee, only to spit a half-eaten chicken nugget straight into it. Well, you know, it's a flavor pod now.
No!
The 2-year-old likes chicken nuggets, so, you know, they thought maybe you would too. I would just like to thank the person who told my daughter that when she lies, her eyes turn a different color. Now she squeezes her eyes shut every time she lies, and my job just became a whole lot easier. That's funny. That's your own Pinocchio right there. Parents of Reddit, what's your best example of reverse psychology on your kids that actually worked? Ooh, we got a little paragraph here. Strap in. Took my 3-year-old son to one of those doctor's visits where he was gonna get a shot. He was worried about the shot on the whole drive over, almost to the point of tears. Shots can be a scary thing. We get to the doctor's office and a nurse subtly lets me know that my son is not just scheduled for 1 shot, but 5 of them in the same visit. I turn to my son with an exaggerated smile and tell him, good news! They figured out how to take that 1 big shot you were gonna get and instead break it up into these 5 little tiny shots so it won't hurt nearly as much. That's so smart. You can see the relief wash over his face. He stopped squirming and relaxed completely. He took the first shot and even smiled and said, it's true, the small ones don't hurt. Nice. We actually made it through the 3rd shot before the effect wore off and reality kicked in. Oh no, it's like finding out Santa's not real. Still, I counted it as a victory. I'd say so. I think that's a really smart way to handle it. I like that. I like that, that's super good. That's smart. It calmed the kid down. It's perfect. As a 6-year-old...
I remember when I went for, my first, long run of shots when I was a kid. I freaked the fuck out.
I remember my hepatitis shots when I was a kid.
I don't remember what they had to do, but they had to, do something. I think they had to hold me down to give them to me.
I saw a large woman and her large daughter in a store once. I looked at my larger mother and tearfully asked, does that mean I'm gonna be fat like you? Honestly, when I think back, I thought I was a lot kinder than that while asking, but kids really have no filter.
I didn't say anything like that to my mom, but I remembered my mom, we were sitting there watching the show Salute Your Shorts, and there was a character on there called Donkey Lips, who was the fattest guy in the camp. And I remembered I looked at Mom and I laid my head on her belly and I was like, Mom, you're fat like Donkey Lips.
Damn.
And my mom said right then and there, she picked me up, sat me back down on the couch, and then she ran into her room, closed the door, locked it, and just started crying. To which, as a kid, I didn't know this. As an adult, I wanted to walk into traffic blindfolded. Like I-81 blindfolded. Whenever I realized that what I said when I said it.
My husband as a young boy used to draw his family as stick figures and his mom as a circle. Oh my God. His dad had to tell him to stop. Well, you know, now he has a job doing bumper sticker decals, so. Or back windshield decals too, that's what I'm thinking of. With the stick figures. My son bet me that he could make a piece of paper fly farther than I could, so he spent 10 minutes making the fanciest paper airplane I've ever seen. The look on his face when I crumpled mine into a ball and launched it across the house was priceless. Sucks to be a loser.
That's good.
That is, wow.
Yeah, he lost fair and square. What'd you bet, $10? I had to work overnight last night, and while taking a nap today, I was vandalized. I have a picture and I've detained the 2 suspects, but one is not cooperating. The only one who could speak blames it on the 4-legged suspect who has no hands to pull off such a stunt. Thanks to my neighbor for pointing out that I have marker all over my face when I took the 4-legged suspect for a walk before I realized I was vandalized. Well, you know, the face is a kid's favorite canvas to draw on, right next to walls. I love that a sticker was thrown on that too. That's really
just, you know what'll really tie this masterpiece together? Sticker.
funny. My daughter
I
was
have
born
a little bit of trouble believing that he didn't notice the red right here in his peripheral vision. You know what I mean?
I guess. But everyone's peripheral vision is different.
Oh no, my son was just 2. For the first 6 months of her life, we were constantly greeting her, "Hi, sweet girl. Hi, little one. Hi, my precious baby." My daughter is 18 months old now, and no matter how much we correct him, my son is convinced her name is Hi. He will say, "Mom, Hi is awake, Hi is hungry," or my absolute favorite, "Hello, Hi." Well, yeah, he never said her name. He didn't know. This story behind the picture has me rolling. Well, what does that story say? So there's this episode of Hannah Montana when Jackson pretended to lost his memory. So me in the 2nd grade wanted to do it too. I had slipped and fell in the bathroom at school. Then I told my friends I couldn't remember anything. They told the teacher, then I went to the nurse. Then I went to the hospital and they was doing hella tests. Whole time, I'm faking it. Great. Growing up to be an actor, huh? Children are the best fundraisers because they don't understand economics. Principal, the student who raises $500 for the school will get this free hat. 12-year-old me, that's such a great deal. When I was a child, I went to the zoo and drew this monstrosity. Oh no, it's a duck. I can see it's got the beak. It kind of looks like a 4-legged version of that
Looks like a
YouTuber.
Marshmallow
Is it
Pete with
Bird?
legs.
Is that who I'm thinking
Yeah,
of?
it does.
Yeah, it just looks like Bird, but on all 4 legs. Good fan art, dude. When my brother was like 9, he said, instead of get the flag on Roblox, so they banned him. And he cried so hard he threw up on the carpet. No. Oh, poor kid. What the Daniel Tiger? This is 10 times worse than my kid seeing violence on TV. We're setting up our inside beach. Mr. Rogers would be upset at that. No.
Yes, he would be. Look, Mr. Rogers was all about, I hate when people say, "Oh, Mr. Rogers was soft. Mr. Rogers was this. Mr. Rogers." The dude literally had an entire week of his program dedicated to, assassination and death, to educate kids on what those things meant. He educated kids on a lot of the hardest stuff, including divorce. He talked to kids sometimes people fall out of love with each other and they don't want to be around each other, and being around each other is just bad for both of them. Now that doesn't mean that they don't love you. It just means that they don't love each other anymore. But they will always love you. And it's damn. I'm glad I grew up more on Mr. Rogers than I did Sesame Street. I mean, my grandma had these these video cassette recordings of Mr. Rogers. They were from a discount store. There was 10 of them, and on each one there was 5 episodes. And I loved it. I loved it as a kid. But anyway.
Because if he wanted to go have fun, he would do it in the appropriate venue or make an appropriate venue at home. He would not just dump sand on the floor. Yes. My nephew got a card from his teacher and he was stoked. He read it, then instead of showing anybody, he sat pensively on the couch for a while. Finally, a quiet voice asked, "Auntie, how long have I had autism?" Ian, thank you so much for being a part of my first class. I love your optimism.
Oh, spelling.
Kid thought he just got diagnosed. My husband and I are surprising our 6-year-old by taking him to Disney for his birthday tomorrow. We've been in the car for 4+ hours and he still thinks we're on our way home from school. He keeps saying, "Looks like we're almost home." Bless his heart.
No.
Update. We arrived at Disney World. He thinks we took a wrong turn and is very concerned about who's going to feed our cat. He had no idea what's happening. He's so confused. Poor kid. Before I had kids, I thought I had a great immune system, but it turns out I was just really good at staying away from the type of people who sneeze directly into your eyeballs while telling you a story, which is, a great way to stay healthy, just not being around that kind of behavior. What is that one thing you did as a child that still gets brought up to this day? When I was a wee lad, my family and I were at a restaurant. I just like how that started. We were
Obviously, Scottish or British. Like, when I was a wee lad, my family and I were at a restaurant, and we were waiting an unusually long amount of time for the server.
waiting for an unusually long amount of time for a server. I stood on my chair, slammed my fist into the table, and exclaimed, "They're not helping us because we're black!"
They're not helping us because we're black.
Let me guess, they're not black.
We are not.
No, we're Scottish instead. Or are you Irish and you're black Irish? like, why not? We're black Irish.
So, speaking of this kind of situation and things you did as a kid that people still bring up occasionally, I liked Michael Jordan when I was a kid.
Oh yes, I did too.
And went to church, and there were some really tall dudes in our gym when it wasn't church day one time playing basketball. Like, I guess like some local high schoolers or something, you know. To me, they were super tall though. And I was like, "Hey mom, is he Michael Jordan?" He wasn't even black.
Well, no, that's the thing. As a kid, you don't notice stuff like that.
Exactly.
And here's the thing. When I was old enough to start noticing stuff like that, my mom educated me all the way through. She basically, because I was just like looking, we were in an ice cream shop, and I think it was like 5 or 6 maybe, and all of a sudden I was just like, "Mom, why, what is, and she's like, what's wrong, honey?" I was like, who are they, and what's going on? And she's like, honey, just because they don't look like you doesn't mean that they're any different. Just because, who's to say that, you don't like the same thing? Who knows? Maybe that little boy over there, maybe he likes Power Rangers just like you. I mean, and I was like, huh. And it made me realize, it was very early on that she put in my head that just because someone's different doesn't mean you need to treat them differently. Doesn't mean you need to treat them worse or better. Just treat them fairly. Treat them like you would treat yourself. Treat them how you would treat yourself. And I think that that's a lesson a lot of people could do good with.
Did you get help after that, or was it just did you get escorted out of the restaurant? How did that end? That's the story I want to know.
Okay, so we said we wouldn't do it. We did it anyway. We are 1 hour and 18 minutes into the fucking recording. Oh, okay. So
maybe I need to let you try some of my Adderall.
Dude, there were some of those. You were the one who was leading the conversation.
Yeah.
We bounce back and forth. I'm gonna have to edit the shit out of this stuff. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, that was MK with r/kids are effing stupid. Mommy, please, I need it. If you all enjoyed and you want to see more from MK, click their name in the title of the video. Till next time, I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
Y'all be good people. Be safe. Peace.